If you've ever found yourself completely entangled in what's going on within your 3D reality and feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, not understanding why this circumstance happened in the first place, and we get our minds so glued to that simple circumstance without really taking that step back to looking into the why, or what was the goal with the circumstance, or what was the goal we were going after? And is this circumstance really a hindrance to it? That's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. I hope it is. I want to say, if you're new here, well, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I am quite obsessed with getting what I want, getting it in a timely fashion, and knowing everything there is to know about manifestation. And if you think you can handle this sass, well, then I would love for you to subscribe and come back and see me. And please let me know in the comments below that you did subscribe, because YouTube does not always tell me, and I want to know who my new friends are. If I happen to see the comment, and I tend to read all my comments, if I see it, you will hear back from me. Okay? New friend? I hope so. And to everyone that was already subscribed, well, thank you so much for being here. Yes, thank you. Let's jump in. Let me read you something. Not long ago, I was discussing with a successful and philanthropic businessman. He told me a thought-provoking story about himself. He said, Neville, I first learned about goals in life when I was 14, and it was on the playing field at school. I was good at track and had a fine day, but there was one more race to run, and I had stiff competition in one other boy. I was determined to beat him. I beat him. It is true. But while I was keeping my eye on him, a third boy who was considered no competition at all won the race. That experience taught me a lesson I have used throughout my life. When people ask me about my success, I must say that I believe it is because I have never made making money my goal. My goal is the wise, productive use of money. This man's inner conversations are based on the premise that he already has the money. His constant inner question, the proper use of it. The inner conversations of the man struggling to get money only proves his lack of money. In his ignorance of the power of the word, he is building barriers in the way of the attainment of his goal. He has his eye on the competition rather than on the goal itself. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are the underlings. Julius Caesar, Act 1, Scene 2. As the worlds were framed by the word of God, so we, as imitators of God, as dear children, create the conditions and circumstances of our lives by our all-powerful human inner words. Without practice, the most profound knowledge of the game would produce no desired results. To him that knoweth to do good, that is, knoweth the rules, and doeth it not, to him it is sin. In other words, he will miss his mark and fail to realize his goals. Now, I don't want everyone to panic, like, oh my God, am I focusing on not having the right thing? Am I focusing on, trying to manifest my specific person, but I'm not paying attention to anything else? Am I like this guy who's focusing on, hey, am I focusing on all the wrong things? Is that what you're saying, Kim? Not necessarily. So settle down. But let's put what we just read into perspective. Sometimes we face circumstances. Say we're manifesting a specific person, and maybe the last several encounters you've had with your specific person do not indicate to you that your person is interested in being in the relationship with you at all. Let's say that your specific person is still showing up, not wanting to be with you. And on the other hand, maybe you're someone manifesting money and you still don't have anything. Doesn't look like life is changing to bring you any money. What, dare I say, are we really focusing on? Number one, the obvious, I'm hoping to all of you, is all right, if we're perceiving reality in that way, my specific person isn't choosing me yet, so therefore I don't have what I want. The money hasn't come in, so therefore I don't have what I want. I hope that goes without saying that if that's how you perceive reality, well, that explains your experience, because our perception of reality is always telling us in that very moment who we really are being. When we perceive that we don't have, or that reality is not changing, well, that is something we're going to want to change, because that is telling us, I believe my true self is the self that doesn't have the manifestation. So our inner conversations, our inner talk are always geared to the not having. They're always geared to, I don't have this yet. So in other words, when we're manifesting a specific person, I see so many people get so tied up with, he loves me, he loves me, she loves me, she loves me. We're in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. And maybe if we've been focusing there, it doesn't feel like the world is moving, doesn't feel like anything is changing. Number one, we obviously want to start viewing our reality that it is changing. And every single thing we're experiencing is a part of the big game of life. It's a part of leading me to all of my desires. But maybe a little shift in focus might be all you need to start really embodying the version of yourself that has what you want. Maybe bringing the focus to what you are experiencing as the person already in the relationship. I have mentioned on multiple occasions that my September of 2022 sucked. It sucked. And I was in a shit state and I felt very stuck in it. As September went by and I was starting to focus on being who I wanted to be, I wasn't perfect. I absolutely fell out of it. But my reality did start changing once I stopped focusing on trying to make my specific person be a certain way. And instead, my focus became who I was as the woman already in the relationship. That I already was her. So that I stopped being the person manifesting a specific person and I became the person thinking about already in the experience, already living as a woman in a relationship. So I didn't necessarily feel the need to keep the focus on, I need to tell myself that he loves me, he loves me, he loves me to get him. So therefore, my inner conversation was always from lack. No, that wasn't me. Instead, I was the opposite. I was always focusing on life as being the woman already in the relationship. So in other words, let's say you're manifesting money. Instead of telling yourself, I have this set of money or all this type of money comes to me, blah, 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 blah. How about looking at it from the perspective as already having that money and what you would be doing with it? Like this man in this example, he doesn't focus on getting the riches, getting the money. He focuses on his goal of managing money very well, managing it. What's he doing with all that money that he already has? So he wasn't blinded by lack. And he used the example of that baseball game that he was so focused on beating the person he thought was his main competition. He was so focused there, but he still lost because he was so zeroed in on this one person. I have to beat this person. Now, I'm sure some of us logically can look at it as, hey, he did win. He did beat the person he wanted. Yay. But overall, he lost because instead of going for the goal of winning, being the total successor. He was fooled, tricked, outplayed by a completely different person. Now, again, I don't want anyone to overthink what they've been embodying, what you've been affirming and visualizing. I'm inviting you to take a different look on where your conscious awareness is. Did I say that right? I feel like I said that wrong. Where is your conscious awareness? Is it always on the getting of the manifestation from the place of not having? Or is your awareness focused on what your life would be like, what you would be doing already having? If I was in the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship that I'm manifesting, are you claiming to already be the version of yourself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, and therefore putting your awareness on your life as already being that version of yourself? Like what a day in your life would be, and allowing your imagination to get carried away thinking about life as that person? Or are we staring out at reality, waiting on something to show up? See, this is why I have mentioned in countless videos that when I was experiencing this, I took my attention away from a specific person. I'm not saying you must do that to manifest. That's not my message. But I'm saying it helped me to detach from what I was experiencing in a reality. It allowed me to put the focus on, and again, this is how I chose to look at life, what a daily vlog would look like in the reality of me already being that version of myself. So it was allowing me to get into my imagination and focus life as already being who I was claiming to be. So my subconscious mind was being pummeled with my conscious thoughts, my conscious awareness, with already being in that reality, already experiencing the relationship. I already manifested the relationship. So this is my life with the manifestation, right? That's where my focus was, already having it and how it feels to be her. Most of us get stuck in that place of, it's going to be great once it finally manifests, but I really can't consider myself someone already in a relationship because I don't officially, logically, literally have it yet. So I don't really believe specific person loves me or wants me. That's why I keep focusing on he loves me, he loves me, he loves me. Well, what would it feel like to be a person loved? If you were already loved and already living the life you want, how would you feel day to day? Would you still be panic affirming that this person loves you, or would you be living your best life and on to the next manifestation? Where do you think you really would be if you already had it, and bringing your focus there? So if you want to be a multimillionaire, are you thinking about what life would be like having those millions? What you would be doing with your investments? I guess not just investments. I mean, whatever it is you plan on doing. Are you thinking about spending that money? What would you be doing with it? So again, that experience taught me a lesson I have used throughout my life. When people ask me about my success, I must say that I believe it is because I have never made making money my goal. My goal is the wise, productive use of money. So where is your dominant focus? On getting the thing you're manifesting, or viewing reality as already having it, and what life would be as you're managing that money? How would you use the money if it was already here? And allowing yourself to step into that version of yourself. And I've been asked, how do I just step into a version of myself? How am I supposed to embody something that I've never had, Kim? You get to decide that. You get to carry away in your imagination. What do you think a millionaire's life looks like? What do you picture? And maybe what you picture is just what you've seen on TV. Maybe you've watched the Kardashians. What does their life look like? Is that what you think a millionaire's life is? What would you be doing if you didn't have a care in the world? financially? Where would you be placing that money? Do you already have a plan on how the money is going to be spent? Do you already have a plan of how you would decorate your home living with your specific person? Do you already have an idea of how you would split the closets in case you'd have to share one with your person? Have you thought about things like that? And again, I'm not telling you that this is a requirement. You must know exactly the perfect quadrants of every aspect of your life in order to manifest. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, however, when you do put your awareness on life as already having something, you're not viewing reality from lack. You're not viewing reality as, I'm still waiting for this thing to show up. No, this is freely letting your conscious awareness float right on over to the reality where it's already here. That's why you're thinking about how we're going to share the closet. What type of, I don't know, shelving would I purchase to fix the closet so there's plenty of space for both of us? You're thinking from the viewpoint of that version of yourself, of that reality. It's definitely not the reality of not having it yet. It's definitely not the reality where your specific person hasn't chosen you yet. When you already know where you're investing your money and how much you're putting into investments, when you're thinking about what your financial portfolio looks like, that's not someone who doesn't have the money yet. That's someone focusing on the responsible or irresponsible things you're going to do with your money. It's the viewpoint of having a very lighthearted, easy way to have fun and view and perceive reality from the new state of consciousness, which is the whole point of doing any of the techniques we do to change our state. And it just makes it a little more fun. And we want to enjoy this. I know not everyone does, but that is because they're perceiving reality from an unfavorable place, truthfully. The whole journey don't have to be uncomfortable and painful. And let's keep it real. It's us making the conscious decision to call it unfavorable, painful. There's always choice. It just sometimes doesn't feel like there is, but there is. So how do you view reality? From the goal already being here and therefore where I'm spending my money, or therefore what we're going to do on the weekends together when we have our days off? Or from the viewpoint of, it's not here yet. I don't have what I want yet. I can't do any of these things yet because I don't have what I want. So there's no point in me worrying about what our closet's going to look like or how I'm going to set the dinner table because they're not here yet. So that's just wasteful thinking, Kim. That's just a waste of my time. No, that's you still trying to protect your heart. That's what that is. Still trying to protect your heart. So therefore, you don't allow yourself to even think about what life would be like if you had what you want because you're afraid of being disappointed. And how do I know that? Because that's exactly who I used to be. The more you're viewpointing life from the place of having what you want already, my God, the sooner that becomes your dominant state. And therefore, the sooner you start experiencing tangible, in your face evidence that reality is changing. So, on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.